Ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding. That's my new expression when I see the red light. Ding, 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 ding. That means I think that we're live and ready and wearing, ready and raring to go with our off the cuff stuff. Are you ready and raring to go with our off the cuff stuff, everybody? I know. Have I surprised you? Did you expect me to come on earlier than this? Maybe you were hoping I was going to come on later than this. Because let me see, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 2 o'clock in the morning in England. Oh my goodness. I think it's, what day are we on here? What day is it today? Tuesday. So I think it's Wednesday morning for all of you out there in Australia. I'm not sure where you are in the rest of the world. I'm not even sure if there's any. Is there anybody out there? Is there anybody there? I love that. So I'm not even sure if that's the case yet. However, I'm here with my spirit guide, Great Eagle, who, as always, is standing to my right side. And Chris, I know. Where are you? Where are you, Chris? Are you there, Chris?
Sitting very comfortably in my lazy boy chair in Vermont.
Oh, is it still cold there?
No, we actually had it, I think, 79 today.
Oh, very nice. Oh, lovely. Now, before any of you write in any questions or comments, you have to, this is a new thing that we're trying. You have to write in hashtag Rosemary Altea, and then you can ask your question or make your comment or whatever it is. It only takes a minute to do it, but apparently, Chris, would you like to explain all of that? Because I don't understand any of it.
Well, some techie person told us that the Google algorithms put Rosemary's name in her program above others that do not do this. So the more that you type in hashtag Rosemary Altea, the more Google recognizes that Rosemary's out there and has a presence, which allows them in the search functions to reach more people.
It allows people to find us. I'm not even sure that I know what an algorithm is. I'm sure somewhere in the back of my mind, I know what it means. People are always coming to me and asking me what this word means or that word means. And I am a wordie. I am one of those people who absolutely loves words of any description. And I always want to know often what a word might mean, where it comes from, the derivation of the word, and so on and so forth. So I'm a big wordie. So for me, it wouldn't be any trouble at all to put hashtag Rosemary Altea because I like words and I love words strung together. So here's the deal, everybody. Now, this is not me. Don't make me to be the bad guy. Chris is the bad guy. Chris is the one who, if you don't put hashtag Rosemary Altea, she might skip over what it is you want to say. We're going to make her the bad guy in all of this. Right, Chris?
You're the boss.
I like that answer. Now, let me ask you all, do I look a little windswept? Do I look a little sort of, my hair is, goodness knows what it's doing. Do I seem a tiny bit out of breath? What's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. Here in Florida, the weather is perfect. Cool breezes, nice and warm. In the 80s, but the breezes are spectacular. It gets quite cool for us at night time. I know it's not the same all over the world, but for us, when it gets to sort of like the 70s and it's cool at night, the 70s is really quite cool for us. So it's really, really nice and cool and breezy. And where have I been? I've been to see the sunset. We have here in the small town where I live, we have what they call the jetties, which is these long stretches of whatever they are, jetties that go right out into the water, and you can literally walk out and it feels almost as if you're sort of walking out onto the ocean. And the sunsets are spectacular, and very often. And so tonight, um, I went and watched the sunset. I put the windows down, the breezes, the wind was blowing through the windows. It was really beautiful and cool, and you can sit. It's a great parking spot, so you can either park and just sit and watch the sunset, or you can actually get out and walk along the jetties and see all the fishermen doing their thing. It's what my grandson really loves to do when he comes here. But I was looking at the sunset and I was thinking, this world of ours is quite spectacular, isn't it? One of the best ever countries for my money in the world to see a sunset is Egypt. When you go to the Far East, when you go to Hong Kong, unbelievable and spectacular sunsets. They creep up on you. But, instead of the sunset being over the water and just it's this piece of sky which might spread out, I think in the Middle East and in the Far East, I don't know what it is, but they do have. I mean, the sky is such brilliant reds and oranges and almost deep purples in some places, and the sunsets are spectacular. And I've been one of those very lucky people to be able to see that, and to have traveled all over the world to see all these absolutely amazing and phenomenal things that we have in our world. And it really is, and I think we forget this often, don't we? Because we're sort of often stuck in our own little world. Things are going wrong, COVID, sickness, all sorts of things going on that can be quite negative. And we talk about a lot of hate in the world and a lot of, let's see, the world being unsettled, or the people in our world being unsettled. And I think, when I was out there tonight and I was looking at all of these people, quite a few people, fortunately it wasn't too crowded, but nevertheless, there were people out there, there were couples out there were families out there, they'd all gone to watch the sunset. There was so much talking. I wanted to say to everybody, stop, look, listen, take a breath, take a moment to absorb. And I'm sure they'll all go home and say how spectacular the sunset was, but did they really see it? Do we really see the beauty of our earth? So do you? I'm asking you all, do you really see the beauty of this earth? Do you ever stop and take a breath or take a moment to say, wow? Because we're so busy sometimes focusing on the negatives of life, and we do forget that there are so many spectacular and beautiful things about our world. I have some gardenias in my garden. They are so gorgeous, glossy green leaves, really, really glossy green leaves. And they are so full of buds. And I'm so excited. And every day I go take a look at them. And of course, I water them and so on. And every day I'm thinking, I wonder if today is going to be the day when I see those beautiful white buds. And if anybody knows about gardenias, you'll know that the perfume from the gardenias is spectacular. And what I try to do every day, and I can't resist it because I'm waiting for that one bud to open. I'm waiting for that moment where I can just take a breath and marvel at the incredible beauty of this world of ours. So, Chris, how are we doing on our off the cuff stuff tonight?
Oh, we have a lot of people on, Rosemary.
Oh, good.
Carolyn was out walking her Cavalier when you popped up.
Oh, I remember I had a beautiful, beautiful Cavalier. His name is Karma. He was the smelliest and the ugliest and the most cross-eyed little puppy you ever wished to meet, and he really did stink. But he was my boy, and I did love him so. And aren't they cute? Cavaliers are absolutely really cute. I'm hoping that she means her Cavalier puppy rather than a Cavalier car, because there is, I think, a car called a Cavalier as well. I'm presuming you mean your puppy, Carolyn. So, oh, give him a kiss from me. Yes, come on then, Chris.
All right. Vicky's asking, do you have any information for her? It would be greatly appreciated.
I don't. This is off the cuff stuff. And just because I say no today doesn't mean I'm going to say no tomorrow. So, Vicky, keep trying. Don't let me put you off by saying right at this moment, no, I don't, because I actually don't. But I'm all windswept, my darling. What do you want from me right now, Chris?
Junior's on from Glasgow, Scotland.
What are you doing? 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm thrilled to bits. Do you have a do you sleep during the day, Junior? That's what I want to know. Do you sleep all the time, or are you just one of those people like myself who need very little sleep? Because I'm just like that. And I'm glad you're here. Please don't think I'm criticizing that you're still up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm thrilled that you're up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Chris.
Judith says, I hope everyone is having a beautiful evening. Aren't we having a partial moon eclipse tonight?
Gosh, are we?
I have heard that.
I was driving back from the sunset, and it was very odd in a way, but fantastic also. So we're driving away, we're coming away from the sunset, we're taking our last look at the sunset, and it's beautiful. And as I then turn to face the front, there's this spectacular moon, sort of huge thing. I don't know if it's a full moon or what it is. I don't know if we're having an eclipse. That would be interesting too. But it's sort of 1 minute you turn and you see this brilliant reds and gorgeous, gorgeous pinks of all these different colors. You just watch the sunset, you turn and there is the moon. And then as I watch, the cloud, just a very light cloud comes over the moon, and it looks quite spooky in a way. But it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. And then the cloud passes, and then this enormous moon is sort of facing, absolutely spectacular. Yes.
Sharon's on. She says, I'm very worried about my helper. Her family is stuck in a village in Myanmar, which is being attacked by armed soldiers. Mom is frail. Her children are young. Is there hope? I told her to pray. I'm praying for her as well. She is distraught.
Absolutely, there's hope. There's always hope, Sharon. But absolutely, we shall send our prayers along too. And if everybody listening can just think to send prayers, that would be spectacular. It is that joining of forces, that connecting with our thoughts. And the power of thought is, even with us as individuals, the power of thought is amazing. But when you get a collective thought, you get this collective thought process going on with all of us, it is amazing what a collective thought process can do and how much power there is in collective thought. So we're going to all join our thoughts together and send our prayers to your friend. Please, Sharon, let us know how things go.
Let's see. Julia says, sending lots of love from the Netherlands. You look lovely, dear Rosemary.
Oh, thank you.
Karen saying hello from Toronto.
Hi, Karen.
Tammy says,
I do have to say I've been talking about you today, Karen. Were your ears burning? Okay, sorry, Tammy.
Yeah, Tammy says, let's see. My question is my mother here watching over my daughter? My youngest daughter had a heart attack and they found an aneurysm. We have so many concerns. I am a nurse and know the medical aspect, but I so miss my mom. She is 25 years old. I believe she's talking about the daughter is 25.
The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put your daughter on our healing list, and we're going to be all sending prayers and healing The second thing I have to tell you is absolutely your mother is right there with you all and definitely watching over all of the family. We'll send healing to your daughter. Please keep us posted. Let us know how she's doing. But even as I'm talking to you, it's an odd thing that we do, because again, we're talking about thought and the power of thought. And even as I'm talking to you, I'm sending my energy and my thoughts towards your daughter specifically, to lift her up, to raise her up, and to build the energy around her so that she has the strength to fight. Chris.
Maggie says, I had a bad reaction to the COVID vaccine where I had a violent headache, nosebleed, and half of my eye turned blood red. It's been weeks with pressure, headache, and dizziness. I'm having a CT scan for my head tomorrow. Normally I brush this stuff off, but I'm a bit concerned. How is this all going to fall out? And hopefully it's not in my brain.
Maggie, just hang in there, my darling. Of course, we're going to send healing to you, and just hang in there. Keep us posted on how you're doing. I think, give it a little bit of time. I think you'll be fine. But hang on in there. We are right there with you.
Judith says, I have gardenia bushes and it's full of buds and flowers and fragrance.
Oh, nice. Lovely. It's one of my favorites, I do have to say. I really, really love magnolia trees. I don't know if anybody knows the magnolia. It's that huge white flower that it just looks like wax. And depending on which country you're in, and depending on, the health of you can get bushes and trees. But oh my gosh, they are wax-like and beautiful. They are incredibly beautiful things. They don't have a perfume, not that I've ever come across anyway. Keep going, Chris.
Karen says, I was just looking out my window a couple of minutes ago, watching the sunset and thinking how beautiful it was. It was picture perfect with blues and pinks as the sun went down behind a few clouds.
Well, we were doing the same thing together, Karen. So can you imagine that?
Julia says, here in the Netherlands are so beautiful because we are in the spring. The trees have new leaves and they are light green and dark green later on in the season.
Well, in the Netherlands, of course, you've got so many spring flowers, tulips, of course, daffodils, all of those spring flowers and all of the spring blossoms, very much like England at this time of the year too. And, it's one of those times of year. May is all that May blossom. May is a spectacular time. And Junior, I'm not sure how you're doing in Scotland because it's a little bit colder up there. You might have to wait until June, or maybe you're having that May blossom already. But when I was a kid, and sort of, I suppose a teenager, my father had, at this point, left the army, and he loved gardening. It was one of the things he really, really loved to do. And we had a tall wooden gate that led from, you sort of came from the road down 4 steps along a pathway to the gate. The pathway ran by the side of the house. You opened the gate, and at this time of year, you opened the gate and all you saw was yellow, yellow, yellow everywhere. And the garden was, just filled. Everywhere you looked, there were yellow daffodils. And I always think of Wordsworth's poem, I wandered lonely as a cloud. I'm not going to sing it, but it has been set to music. When I was a sort of, I'm going to say a young teenager, I was in the choir at school, and we used to sing this song. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vale and hill, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host, of golden daffodils. Yes, well, amazing. So it is an amazing time for so many people to experience the spring and the spring flowers. Chris.
Wendy's saying the moon is huge, and Judith is saying it's a blood moon.
Oh, right. I wonder where Judith is then in the world.
Let's see. Judith also says, thank you for your thought for the week. I needed to be uplifted.
Oh, the power of words. I am, I can. There's a power, 2 power words for you. I can, I will, I shall. Here are some other power words for you. Can't, won't, shan't. The first little group of power words are positives, aren't they? The second little group of words are negative. And the power of words, if you use them positively, can really lift you and really make a huge difference to your life. The power of negative words can really bring you down, can really send you crashing to the ground. I can't do that. I won't do that. I shan't do that. Why would I? Why should I? You know, the power of thought is the most powerful thing that we do possess. I do believe on this planet Earth, it is the most powerful thing that we do possess. And the power of thought used positively can really do amazing things for all of us. But the more people think negatively, like attracts like, and what you do is you encourage negative people to join you, and then you know that old saying, misery loves company. Before you know it, you're all moaning and complaining and having a lousy time of it. Whereas if you are, you know, positive and you're thinking positive thoughts, again, like attracts like, and you're having a blast, you're having a really, really good time, a really, really fun time, if you use the power of your thoughts wisely and positively.
Both Sharon and Tammy are thanking you for your comment. Junior's heading off to bed, but saying, I love your wisdom and knowledge. However, I do sleep during the late morning. I will pop off to sleep. Now, I hope all you brothers and sisters have a wonderful, joyful day, evening, morning, wherever you are on Mother Gaia. Night, night.
Night, night, Junior. Thank you.
Okay, next in line we have, and I'm so thankful for the people who are still continuing to put hashtag Rosemary Altea. Thank you for doing that.
You can't just do it once, you got to do it every time. Apparently, I don't know why, but you have. And then what you have to do after that, what do they have to do, Chris?
Well, at the end, when the video's all done, then you can go hit like and share. And that will definitely help. The more you hit
like and share, and the more you share with other people, the more chance other people have of experiencing what we're able to give to them. So, you know, if you benefit from this, please think about all the other people that you know who would benefit too. So like and share. That's what Chris, you're on a mission, aren't you, Chris?
My mission is to make sure that you and the spirit world's message gets out to as many people as possible. So yes.
So we're asking if you all out there who are listening and benefiting would like to help us to do that. Right.
All right. Ananda is on and saying, is my friend who died a few years ago speaking to me, or is that my imagination? How do we know what we are creating in our mind and what is a real connect from the deceased? Do you sense a specific message?
Okay, I think that what you have to do is always apply the 3-time rule. If you think that you're hearing something or sensing something, the first time you hear it, okay, maybe it's real, maybe it isn't. The second time, pay attention. And the third time, I always apply the 3-time rule. If I'm hearing the same thing or feeling the same thing, I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to work with it. I'm sure that your friend is with you. I'm sure that sometimes it's your imagination. but I'm sure that very often it's real. So apply the 3-time rule and see how that works for you. Chris.
Maggie says, my mom had a teacup blossom magnolia tree. That sounds so cool.
Oh, a teacup blossom. I think is that the things that's the one. I think with many feathers, many petals. I think. I'd love to know if I'm right or not, because you can get the magnolia that is, it's a majestic thing, but it's just it's almost looks like a large tulip. But then you can get them that do have the many more petals inside. I wonder which one a teacup. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to look at that and see. I'm going to check it out. But aren't
Well,
they spectacular?
if our friend Eric was on, he'll let us know for sure.
Yeah, he definitely would.
Julia says the magnolia trees are in bloom in Holland now.
Oh, lovely.
And
Oh,
Judith responded to you saying, I live just up the road from you near Atlanta, Georgia.
oh, well, that's not far at all. Come for a visit. Right? You could come for a visit. I don't know how long it takes to drive, but I don't think it's that long a drive. I don't know. Anyway, keep going.
Let's see. Robert says, hi, Rosemary. I am on night duty tonight. Do
Oh,
you know the full moon affects people with dementia, especially in the care unit I work in? And this is from Robert from Ireland.
oh, I'd love to hear more about that, Robert. And yes, I do know that. Now, I will tell you an odd story, but so true. People say that, some people are affected by the moon. And other people brush it off, blah, blah, no, no, no. But when you think about it, this planet is so full of energy, and some people are more sensitive to certain types of energy than other people are. Now, this is a true story. I promise, I promise, I promise. My father in law, who was a nice guy, often moody, you could actually see this happening once you knew about it, once you realized it. You could actually see it happening before your eyes. He would become, I can't remember which way around it was. I think it must have been just before the full moon, or around the full moon. He would become, in some ways, much quieter, but he would also become really moody and really aggressive. And his wife, my mother-in-law, always used to say that he was affected by the moon. And I would, brush it off a little bit and think, oh, maybe she just what she likes to think. However, I knew him for many years, and every single time that there was a new moon, he would go into one of these weird, let's say, call it a funk or something like that. But Robert, it's interesting because you obviously you're working with people who are mentally challenged, and that means really in so many ways they're so much more sensitive and so much more aware. And I'd love to hear more about your experiences in that way. Maybe you could email me and let me know. I'd also like to know what is it that you do anything to help in any way? Do you use your thoughts, those powerful thoughts that we have? I'm curious, Robert, about how you handle that situation, because I know it must not be an easy thing for you to have to deal with. Chris.
Jeff is on saying good evening.
Hi, Jeff.
And then Tammy's talking about sundowners. The moon affects us all. So I know
Well,
people with dementia, when the sun goes down, they also begin to act up.
oh, I don't know anything about that. But I'm not at all surprised, because when you look at this planet of ours, it's moving, it's turning, the different energies, the stars, the universe. We're affected so much by all of this, and I think again, some of us are much more sensitive and become much more aware of these changes than others of us do.
Let's see. Robert responded back. That's
Oh, good.
very true. Similar to some of our residents, and some actually become transparent. I will email you, Rosemary.
Thank you. I want you to explain to me, what does that mean, Robert, that they become transparent? Does that mean that you can see through them, or does it mean that what does it mean exactly? I'm very curious. I'm very interested to know more about this. And you're in Ireland. Whereabouts in Ireland are you? Okay, keep going, Chris.
Wendy's talking about the full moon, saying, at the full moon each month, I get depressed.
Oh, well, stop it. Behave yourself. Behave yourself, Wendy. You know there are lots of things that you can do to ward off that depression. You know how you can turn negatives into positives. I know you know this. So that's what you have to do when you know you're approaching this period of time. Turn your negatives to positives, my darling.
Keith is on saying, hi, Rosemary. Good gosh, I love your vibes.
Hi,
I've
Keith.
been into you since the TV shows in the 90s.
Oh my gosh. Well, Keith, thank you so much. And where are you from, Keith? We want to know. We want to know all about you. This is off the cuff stuff. We can talk about anything we like, and I can say anything I like. And so, if I want to sort of become more friendly with all of you guys, that's what I shall do. So, Keith, where are you from, and why, and what was it that attracted you? I love this. I've been into you. What was it that attracted you in the first place? How did you come to get to know me for a start? Let's have that story. Why don't we have some stories from you guys? What do you think, Christian? It's a good idea.
Oh, I love connecting with everyone. I mean,
Me
we are
too.
a worldwide group, aren't we?
We certainly are.
Judith is saying sundowners is a very real thing. People with dementia, especially older people, become more confused and sometimes combative. My mother had Alzheimer's.
Oh, it has to be an awful thing.
Wow.
And it has to be an awful thing for the family of someone. A very good friend of mine, her mother had Alzheimer's. In fact, I have two really really good friends whose both mothers had Alzheimer's, and it was so sad to see they the way that they in some ways lose touch. You know, one of my friends, she felt that she'd lost her mother, even though her mother was still very much alive and kicking. She felt that she'd lost touch with her mother. And another good friend of mine, he definitely felt that he couldn't reach his mother. However, I've had some interesting experiences with people who've got Alzheimer's, the same as people who have who are, let's say, in a type of coma, or in a confused state. Because if you look at them, if you really look at them, I find that when I'm in touch with people who have Alzheimer's, they have, even though they they seem to be elsewhere, when they look at me, they're very, very present, and it's almost as if their eyes are talking to me. And I feel that they know far more, but are in a place that's so special to them. I don't, whenever I see anyone with Alzheimer's, I don't see them as suffering. I think it's the families who suffer, but I see them sort of, it's almost as if they're enjoying their life. They're sort of half here, half in the spirit world, whatever it is that's going on with them. But they are certainly, my experience has been that they're certainly having this special spiritual moment, even while they're on this earth of ours still.
Well, that brings up a memory for me because we took care of dear Aunt Mary for 10 years. And when we took her out, she was always so intrigued by the clouds, or she was intrigued by some type of plant or blade of grass or type of bird. And it's almost like when you take a toddler out and they stop with pick up sticks and stones, they all of a sudden make you appreciate these small things that you walk by every day. It
Mm-hmm.
was such a privilege.
Yeah, yeah. As I say, I think it's that we who are have to watch, we who love them, we have to watch this process, and we feel that we've lost them, but I feel that they're even more present than they ever were.
Robert is answering your question about transparent. He says, it's almost a glow, as if the aura pulls closer to the body. He's in Drogheda, Ireland, very near to Dublin.
Wow. Well, I know exactly what you're saying about that glow, because it's about, everything is about energy, isn't it? And so they are affected by this energy. And obviously, if they are, let's say, glowing, their aura is shining, that means that even though it seems like they're having a bad experience, it seems to me that they're having a very positive experience, although it can be confusing for those of us watching to see what's going on with them. We don't understand what's going on with them, but right. And I'm not sure, I don't think I've ever been to your, or is it a town or a city, wherever it is. I've been to Dublin on a couple of occasions, but my experience of Ireland has been mostly the west coast and the south, where it's beautiful. I've had many wonderful holidays there in the past. So Robert, I'm going to send you lots of energy. I'm going to put you in my prayers, because this is what I want to do. I want to give you that energy that hopefully enables you to help these people, because I feel that you're very sensitive to what's going on with them. So I want to say thank you for the work that you're doing. Chris.
Keith is saying, I've been spiritually open since the age of 3. I knew I was a spiritual being at that age.
Wow.
He's from North Carolina.
Okay.
And I've been into the spirit world awareness since a kid. I'm Viking and American.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, thank you for that. You didn't tell me how you got to know me, but that's okay. I'm more interested in you than I am in me anyway. So thank you for that, Chris.
So he has 2 more comments.
Okay.
I've had spirit world experiences since I was little. I just turned 63 last Saturday, May 22nd.
Oh, very close to my birthday. Does that mean you're a Taurian? Sorry, Chris.
I've been into holistic healing for 45 plus years now.
Wow.
I'm Celtic and American Indian. Being spiritually tuned up runs in these lines, so to speak.
Wow, I understand that. Well, good for you. Thank you for sharing that with us. Wow. Interesting.
I had typed into the chat room earlier wondering if anybody has used your recipes so far for this month. And Karen has said, your secret sauce is amazing. I used it with steak.
Not so secret anymore though, right? Because I've shared it with everybody. Well, it is great with chicken and also with steak. However, my favorite is with fish. And what did I have the other day? I had I tried a fish cobia. It was called cobia, cobia, and delicious. It doesn't smell at all like fish. You can put your nose right into it. It doesn't smell like fish, but it really is fish. And I baked it and put my delicious sauce with it, and thoroughly enjoyed every second of it. So thank you for sharing that. It's not a secret anymore, is it? Unfortunately, or fortunately. Anyway, it's so easy to make.
Karen was commenting on the fact that her in-laws both had Alzheimer's, as well as her dad before he passed.
Oh, darling, that must have been very hard for you. I do hope that what we're saying about it is helpful to you, and maybe makes you feel a little better about what was going on. But I know how difficult it must be for you, because you're losing that person before they've left here, which is so not fair, is it? But as I tell my daughter all the time, from being a little girl, life is not fair.
Karen says she will try it with fish next. Wendy is saying food. Rosemary's curried chicken salad is amazing. Her husband is demanding it weekly now.
Who
Not
is
sure if it
this?
was a recipe you did on the show. This is Wendy.
Oh, I love my chicken salad. Oh yes, that's right, Wendy. You asked for it, and I sent you the recipe. And of course, it is all of the recipes that I've been doing on our Sunday show from my cookbook. But I love that. I love the chicken salad. It's a really great way to eat chicken. It's a really, I mean, I use chicken breast, but you can use whatever you like. If you like dark meat, use dark meat. But yeah, I love that chicken curry with raisins and a few little herbs in there. And yeah, it's good. It's really good. If you want the recipe, just let me know.
Fiore says, "Good evening, Rosemary, and thank you
Hi.
with all
Hi.
my heart. I am an empath, a chronic pain sufferer, and an advocate for a great many of other chronic pain patients. May I ask, for those who have empathic energy and suffer from chronic illness, how can I quiet my mind during the times when I am overwhelmed to meditate?"
Well, maybe we'll deal with that tomorrow. Chris, you might want to make a note because Wednesday is our, gosh, don't you hate this term, Wellness Wednesday. I don't know why we can't just say on Wednesdays we're going to be doing healing or talking about healing. Because you are an empath, it means that you are then therefore ultra sensitive. So you're not only dealing with your own pain, but you're also connecting with other people's pain, which is sort of adding to your distress. I think the best thing I can say to you in this moment, because we'll do more of that tomorrow, but I think the best thing I can say to you is that if you can sit, be quiet, take a step back, and focus on yourself, and sort of try, if you can, to shed the idea of other people and other people's pain. It's going to be very hard for you because you are an empath, you are sensitive. However, we have to focus, those of us who are healers, those of us who are sensitive to this stuff, we really do have to focus on ourselves, because without focusing on ourselves, without being able to give to ourselves first, we become useless for anybody else. So what you have to do, darling, is to work at letting go of other things, centering yourself, taking a breath. If you want to know more about that, you can go to YouTube and you can type in what is it, Chris? Rosemary Altea, healing hands
Healing
around the
hands around
world.
the world. Yep.
Healing hands around the world, and you'll come up against lots of videos that I've done that to help you to do exactly this and help you to sort of step back and, as you put it, quiet the mind so that you can focus just on you and what you need to give to your own self. It's called being selfish, and I'm a big advocate of being selfish as long as you're not walking all over everybody else to do it. I think we should be selfish because we have to focus on ourselves. We have to nourish ourselves in order that we are healthy enough and nourished enough to then give to other people. You can't just keep giving to other people and expect, to stay healthy, because it's not going to work. Chris.
Keith says, "I still remember from seeing you the first time on TV here in America on a talk show when you said Earth isn't the only place to return to. I loved that and always remembered that, and I completely agree. You're a deep soul, Rosemary, and this ain't your first time at the rodeo."
I love that, Keith. I think you might be right.
Well, Rosemary, that's all the comments and questions I have
Okay,
in the
well,
chat room.
and guess what? What time is it?
It's nearly 10 o'clock.
Well, there you go then. So we've had our hour, we've had our off the cuff stuff. I know. You can all go to sleep now or chill out or read a book. I think I might read a book. I think I'm going to get into my nightie now and snuggle down and read. And I think one or two more people are thinking, no, don't go. I've got a question or I've got a comment, because I saw one or two coming in there. Do we have anything else quickly, Chris, before we?
No, they were just communicating with each other. We
Oh, okay.
do want to mention the tickets are actually selling out pretty fast for your June 26th webinar that's coming up. So especially people who follow you now, you know, the early bird gets the worm. I say if you're going to go, now's the time to go get that ticket.
Yeah, you can go and go to my website, rosemaryaltea.com. We are having, I'm going to be doing the same as we did whenever it was, a couple of weeks or so ago. I'm going to be literally connecting with the spirit world. Grey Eagle and I are going to be connecting with the spirit world, and we're going to be giving messages. And that's pretty much all we're going to be doing. As far as I'm aware, unless Grey Eagle changes his mind and we do something different, although what we're doing is we're having, time with Rosemary, which means, you're going to be spending time with me, and I'm going to be connecting with your loved ones in the spirit world, and I'm going to be listening. I'm going to be paying attention. I'm going to be having conversations with them. I'm going to be hopefully able to give some of you messages. Of course, can't give everybody messages. I'm only one little person, and we only have so much time. It seems like we have such a lot of time. 3 hours sounds like a long time to do this, but it goes like that, right, Chris? It just goes fast, really, really fast.
Absolutely.
But the last time we did this was actually the first time I did this in this way, doing it on a webinar, and it worked so very well. And we gave out so many messages. And when I'm saying we, I'm not using the royal we. I'm not talking about myself and Grey Eagle. We gave out so many messages, and we had so many people asking questions, so many people joining in the webinar. Now, some of you will actually say, can I have a message from my brother, my sister, my this, that, and the other, whatever. But there is a certain point where Grey Eagle might say, right, well, now we're going to give messages to, and it'll be somebody, perhaps somebody who didn't even ask a question. And somebody from the spirit world will come in and say, I want to, I want to talk to my sister. So I want to talk to my mother or my brother. It's a two-way street, people. You have your questions and you have your needs, but the spirit world also has their questions and they have their needs too. So it's fascinating sort of combination of listening to the spirit world because you asked for them, but it's also fascinating when those from the spirit world come and say, well, it's my turn now, I want to have a go, and then they come in, and Grey Eagle helps them to come in. It's a really interesting process. We do limit this. We're not letting this become a huge crowd. We try to limit it so that people do get a chance to ask questions, and a lot of you do get a chance to have messages. But just go to, what is the price of the webinar? Is it $65, Chris, or something?
Yeah, I think it is, Rosemary.
So go to the website or subscribe, because if you subscribe, this is what happens. If you subscribe, you don't have to pay anything to subscribe, but what it does is it makes you what we call an insider. In other words, if you subscribe, you're immediately on our list, and when our newsletter goes out, which we send a newsletter out every month, when our newsletter goes out, you are one of the first. If you're a subscriber, you get to know before so many other people what's going on, what you can look forward to, what is happening. So if you want to sort of get in there and get your tickets first, then subscribe, become an insider. I think that's what we call it anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we have that coming up June the 26th, I do believe.
Yes.
Oh, Chris is just cracking the whip. She's making me work so hard. Are you all having fun? You can all blame Chris for this. If you're getting too much of me, or if you're saturated with seeing me all the time, it's Chris's fault. I'm making Chris the bad guy. She does a great job, don't you think? So, all right, we are now at the end now, whatever else is happening with our off the cuff stuff. Wow. Well, I just went to see the sunset and I saw the moon, incredible, beautiful moon. I've spoken to all of you. How lucky am I that I get to do this, all of this, and have a great time. So, tomorrow will be whatever they like to call it. I should be talking about healing of one kind or another. What time is that, Chris? I think that's
Noon.
So tomorrow at noon, where you found me tonight, tomorrow at noon, I'll be talking about healing and all of that other good stuff. On Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I shall be doing our usual show, which is The Spirit World Sees All, and you get to ask questions and so on and so forth. On Friday, we have another volunteer. You're amazed. We're going to be doing another bottom brick exercise. It seems to be going down well. You're all loving it, I know. So we should be doing that on Friday at
11.
11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Saturday morning, we are going to be having our
Story time.
And on Sunday, I'll be cooking again. What can I tell you? I'm going to tell you that whatever it is that I'm cooking on Sunday, I'm going to keep it a secret. I have to tell you it's a secret from me as well. I have no clue what I'm going to be doing. But I'll think of something. Maybe I'll show you how to make our good old British potted beef, which I love. Or I'll think of something else. It'll be off the cuff anyway, whatever it is. It'll be a spur of the moment. Let's do that. So that's what I should be doing. Right. I think we're done for the night. Thank you all for joining me. I know it's late. I'm going to let you go to sleep. So until I see you again, thank you so much for joining us. Chris, thank you so much for what you do. Grey Eagle, of course, I'm thanking Grey Eagle because without him, we couldn't do any of this. Thank you all. Until I see you again, please. Yes, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? Please, 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 all of you out there, have a very, very blessed rest of the day. Yes, rest of the day. Have a very blessed rest of the day, everybody. Bye-bye.